The night is quiet. The air is warm, yet touched by a gentle breeze. It drifts over clay walls and broken stones, the ruins of an old city, the city of Uruk, where once the songs of priestesses rose like smoke into the stars. Close your eyes now. Imagine the hush of desert night. Imagine the glow of a single flame, cradled in a bronze bowl, sheltered by soft hands. This is not an ordinary fire. This is the fire of Inanna. Long ago, when the rivers Tigris and Euphrates flowed fuller and wilder than they do today, there stood great temples of mud brick and golden paint. On their walls were carvings of lions and doves. On their altars burned sacred flames. At the heart of these temples was Inanna, goddess of love, of war, of the morning star. The people told stories of her beauty, her fierce power, her descent into the underworld, and her return. But tonight, the story is gentler. It is about the first fire, lit in her name by hands that trembled yet believed. The story says that when the city was young, there was darkness in the night. No lamp yet glowed, no steady flame to guide the wanderer. The people feared the blackness, and they called upon the goddess. They prayed for light, for warmth, for safety in the shadow, and Inanna heard them. She whispered into the dreams of a young priestess. Her name has been lost to time, but in the dream she saw a spark fall from the sky. It landed in her palm, and it did not burn her. It only glowed like a star resting upon her skin. When she awoke, she gathered reeds from the riverbank. She shaped them into a small torch. She struck stone against stone, and when the first flame rose, the people gathered around her. The fire was gentle at first, like a child learning to breathe. Then it grew stronger, and it warmed their faces. The priestess whispered, "This is Inanna's fire," and they believed her. And from that day, a flame was always kept alive in the temple. Imagine now, you are standing at the edge of that fire. Your body is tired, but the warmth soothes you. The glow flickers on your skin, painting you in gold and shadow. The desert winds sigh outside the temple walls, but here, inside, you are safe, you are still. The priestesses move with soft steps. Their long robes whisper against the stone floor. They add wood. They add oil. They guard the flame with care. They never let it die, for they believe it holds Inanna's presence. And in truth, the flame feels alive. It dances. It breathes. It seems to listen. It seems to know. The people of Uruk told that Inanna was not only a goddess of love. She was a star in the heavens, shining both as morning and evening light. They said she could descend into the underworld, face silence and shadow, and return again, bringing renewal. The fire in the temple was like her journey. It burned bright by day, then sank into embers by night and rose again at dawn, always dying, always returning, a mirror of the goddess herself. Picture now the sounds of the temple. Low chanting, voices like the slow rolling of a river, the hum of devotion, soft as bees, circling blossoms. Outside, the city rests. The marketplace is silent. The streets are empty. Only the temple glows, a single light in the night. The fire crackles. Its sparks rise and vanish, like fleeting prayers. The shadows on the wall seem to move, telling stories older than words. You breathe in the faint scent of smoke, mixed with cedar and oil. The air is heavy with stillness. You let yourself sink deeper into rest. The myths say that Inanna was bold and radiant, yet also tender, capable of great passion. When she loved, her love was a storm. When she wept, her tears were rivers. When she laughed, the world itself seemed lighter. But her greatest gift to the people was not power, not conquest, not beauty. It was warmth. It was light in the dark, the first flame that could be shared, that could be carried from temple to home, from hearth to hearth. And so the people of Uruk began to trust the night. They no longer feared the shadows, for in every house, in every street, a flame could glow, and in that glow, they felt her presence. The priestesses were called keepers of the flame. They woke before dawn to tend the embers. They whispered prayers as the sun rose. They bowed low at sunset. When the first star appeared, the star of Inanna, was more than a goddess. She was the sky that held both day and night. She was the fire that warmed both warrior and child. She was the light that guided wanderers and the comfort that softened sorrow. The first flame was her gift, and each time it was lit, the people felt her promise renewed. Now, as you drift in this story, imagine lying close to that sacred fire. Your head rests upon smooth stone. Your body sinks into quiet ease. Above you, the roof of the temple opens to the stars. You see them shimmering, like a million tiny fires scattered across the sky. The priestesses sing in low voices. Their song is not for ears, but for hearts. It flows like water. It covers you like silk. You feel it moving through you, slowing your breath, slowing your thoughts. The fire glows steady. Its light softens the sharp edges of the world. Your eyelids grow heavier. The goddess is near. Her presence is calm. Her touch is warmth. The myths also tell of Inanna's descent into the underworld. She stripped away her jewels, her crown, her robe, her power, until she was bare before the Queen of Shadows. She died there, hung upon a hook like a piece of meat. But she returned. She always returned. The people learned from this story. They understood that life falls into darkness, but rises again. That even in sorrow, there is a spark waiting to rise. The flame in the temple mirrored this truth. It could sink low, almost vanish. But with care, with breath, with patience, it always returned. So too, your spirit rests now. It sinks into stillness, into the dark and quiet of sleep. But within you glows a small flame, steady and warm, always ready to rise with the morning. The desert outside is vast and silent. Sand stretches like a sea of silver under the moon. Palm trees stand motionless. The rivers murmur softly, their waters carrying ancient secrets. The whole land seems to breathe in rhythm with the fire. Time loses its edge here. The past and present blend, like smoke curling into the sky. You are no longer only yourself, you are also the dreamer in the temple, the priestess with the torch, the wanderer warmed by the flame. You are part of the story, and the story is part of you. The flame flickers. The song softens. The night deepens. Your breath slows, calm and even. Each inhale a wave. Each exhale a release. The goddess watches. Not from far above, but close, within the warmth of the fire, within the stillness of your heart. Her gift is not only for the people of Uruk, it is for you now. Here, in this quiet moment, here, in this gentle night, the fire glows low, like an ember of dawn waiting to rise. You feel its warmth seep into your chest. Your eyes grow heavy, but you are safe. The temple holds you, the goddess soothes you. The night is soft. Let the fire of Inanna rest within. You, let it keep you warm through the night. Let it guide your dreams with gentle light. The priestess's song fades to a whisper. The stars shimmer like watchful eyes. The desert breathes slow and deep, and you drift, like a flame sinking into ember, like a star dissolving into dawn. Sleep now. As the first fire continues to glow, eternal, unbroken, carried from age to age, from heart to heart, now rest, now dream, now drift onward into the stillness of the night. The desert lies quiet under the veil of night. Stars shimmer like grains of silver scattered across an endless sky. The sands hold the day's heat, still breathing warmth into the cool air. Far away, the Nile moves slowly, a ribbon of moonlight weaving through the land. In the silence, only the whisper of palm leaves can be heard, and the soft hum of life continuing in stillness. In this timeless hush, there is a story. It belongs to the goddess Isis, she of healing, of magic, of deep patience. It is said she held knowledge so great that even the mighty sun god robed to her wisdom. Tonight, let us walk with her, not in the heat of day, but in the gentleness of night. The temple lamps glow like fireflies, the river sighs, and the tale begins. Ra was old, though his light still ruled the skies. He crossed the heavens each day in his golden bark. He watched over the land, bringing warmth to the fields and power to the kings. Yet as he grew weary with time, his body showed the lines of age. His steps slowed, and in his mouth words carried the weight of eternity. The people saw him as everlasting, but Isis knew the truth. She saw that even the sun could fade. She listened closely to his voice, to the way his breath moved, and she wondered about the secret he carried. For the ancients believed that within every god lay a true name, a word of pure essence, a sound that held the core of being. To know it was to hold great power. Isis, in her wisdom, did not seek this power out of cruelty. She sought it for healing, for guidance, for the safety of her people. And so she devised a plan. She gathered clay from the riverbank. She shaped it with her hands, cool and damp beneath her fingers, and with sacred breath, she formed a serpent, a creature small yet filled with purpose. She set it in the path where Ra would walk, and when the sun god passed, the serpent stirred, its fangs sharp with divine magic. It bit him, and fire filled his veins. Ra cried out. The heavens trembled. The earth shook. He called upon the gods to heal him, but none could, for the poison was woven with the magic of Isis. It burned not to destroy, but to reveal. As Ra writhed, his power flickered like the sun behind a cloud. He called to Isis, knowing her gifts in healing. Great lady, help me. The poison burns, and I cannot endure. Isis knelt beside him. Her eyes were calm, her voice a soft river. I can heal you, she whispered. But first, you must speak your hidden name. Only then will the poison leave. Ra resisted, for his name was his essence. To speak, it was to give it. He trembled. The sun dimmed. The gods around him grew fearful. At last, his strength faltered. He leaned toward her, and in a breath, a whisper softer than the wind, he spoke his true name. It passed from his lips to her heart, a secret now held within her soul. The poison faded. Ra's strength returned. The sun blazed again in the sky, and Isis kept his name within her, a treasure, a seat of power. She did not boast, nor strike nor take the throne. Instead, she carried it as a healer carries a charm, to protect, to mend, to guide. And so the people said, her magic was greater than any, for she knew the hidden truth. She had drawn wisdom from the heart of the sun itself. Imagine now the scene. You sit in the shadowed temple, where pillars rise like tall reeds, their tops blooming into lotus carvings. The air is cool, thick with incense of myrrh and frankincense. A lamp burns near the altar, its flame steady and golden. The story of Isis is told in low voices, chanted by priests in slow rhythm like the breathing of the earth. You can almost see her, standing in her white linen robe, stars woven into her dark hair. Her crown holds the throne upon her brow, for she is the seat of wisdom, the mother of protection. She moves like water, she shines like the moon, and in her hands she carries healing. The myth of Isis and Ra is more than a tale of power. It is a reminder that strength comes not from force, but from patience, from listening, from knowing the hidden heart. Ra carried light for the world, but Isis carried the knowledge of renewal. Through her, the balance of life and death, of sickness and healing, was kept steady. And so the people loved her. They built temples along the Nile. They prayed for her blessing in childbirth, in illness, in sorrow. Her name was spoken like a lullaby, soft and full of care. The desert night deepens, the stars brighten, their reflections dancing on the slow waters of the river. You feel the rhythm of the story within you, a serpent's whisper, goddesses calm, the hidden name of the sun. Each image moves gently through your thoughts, like boats drifting downstream. Your breath slows, your body softens, you feel the warmth of Isis's presence, as if she places a cool hand upon your brow, a blessing, a promise of safety, a reminder that wisdom waits in silence, and healing flows in stillness. The priests finish their chant, the lamp flame wavers, then steadies again. The temple walls seem to hum, echoing with stories too old for words. You close your eyes, the goddess remains near. Her voice is not heard in the ear, but in the heart, It says only, "Rest now, the hidden name guards you. The night is kind, you are safe." The desert sighs, the river dreams, the stars watch, patient and calm, and you drift, as if carried upon the Nile, slow and unhurried, toward the sea of sleep. Sleep comes gently. It comes like the hush of wings. It comes like the cool shadow of palm leaves. It comes like the soft hand of Isis, drawing the fire of the day away, leaving only peace. Let the story fade into your breath. Let the goddess linger in your dreams. Let the hidden name remain a secret flame, safe within the night. Now rest as the sands grow still, as the river hums its endless song, as the stars keep their watch. Drift onward, into the quiet, into the dark, into sleep. The night is hushed. A soft wind drifts across the fields, brushing through tall golden stalks of wheat. The moon hangs above, pale and full, spilling silver over the land of Greece. Cicadas sing their quiet song in the distance. An owl calls once, then falls silent. The earth itself seems to be resting. In this stillness, there rises a story older than stone temples, older than carved statues, older than the whispers of poets. It is the tale of Demeter, the mother of the fields and of her beloved daughter, Persephone, a tale of sorrow and of return. Imagine now the wide plains of ancient Greece. Fields stretch as far as the eye can see, golden in the summer sun, green and tender in the spring, bare and quiet in the cold of winter. These fields live and die, rise and fall, with the turning of the seasons. The people believed that this cycle was the work of Demeter. Her hands guided the grain. Her breath warmed the soil. Her blessing turned seeds into food, and her sorrow could make the earth grow barren. She was the giver of harvest, the nourisher of life, but she was also a mother, and in her daughter Persephone, her heart found its brightest joy. Persephone was gentle and radiant, a maiden of spring, a child of blossoms. Her laughter was the sound of water over stones. Her touch made flowers open their petals. Where she walked, meadows brightened, and the air filled with fragrance. But one day, as the myth tells, her laughter faded, for the ground itself split open, and from the shadow below rose Hades, lord of the underworld. He took her in his chariot of black horses, and the earth closed again, swallowing her cries. The meadow fell silent, the flowers bowed their heads, and Persephone was gone. When Demeter searched for her daughter, she found only silence. Her grief was vast, like a storm without end. She walked across the earth, her torch burning in her hand, but her heart heavy as stone. For 9 days she wandered, and 9 nights, without food, without rest. She called Persephone's name, but no answer came. Her sorrow spread into the land itself. The fields withered, the trees grew bare, the rivers shrank, no grain grew, no flower bloomed. The world felt her mourning. Picture this moment. Dendera, once golden fields now lie empty, the soil is cracked, dry as bone. The wind carries only dust. The people grow afraid, for hunger creeps into their homes. They look to the sky, but the goddess is grieving, and the earth reflects her pain. The gods themselves grew troubled, for if Demeter's sorrow continued, all life would fade. So they sent Hermes, swift messenger, down into the shadowed halls of Hades. His wings carried him to the underworld, where Persephone sat upon a dark throne. Hades had offered her jewels, crowns of black metal, and fruits unlike any above. But Persephone's eyes still searched for light, and her heart longed for her mother. Hermes spoke gently and told Hades it was time. Persephone must return, for the world depended on her. And though Hades loved her, he knew he could not keep her fully. Still, before she left, he placed in her hand a single pomegranate. Its skin was red as blood, its seeds glistening like rubies, and Persephone, hungry from her time in shadow, ate a few. It was a small taste, but it bound her, for whoever eats the food of the underworld must return to it in time. And so a compromise was born. Persephone would return to her mother, but not forever. For part of the year she would rise, her steps bringing spring and summer, and part of the year she would descend, her absence calling winter and stillness. Thus, the cycle began. The cycle of loss and return, of fading and renewal, of harvest and barren field. Now, breathe slowly. Imagine the first moment Persephone rose again. Demeter's torch still burned, but her eyes were weary. Then across the horizon, she saw her daughter. The earth itself rejoiced. Grass lifted its green head. Flowers opened. The fields shone gold once more. The mother's tears fell, but they were tears of joy. Her arms opened wide. The world was healed. In this reunion lies the heart of the myth. The seasons are not random. They are the breathing of the earth. The earth sorrows when Persephone is gone. It rejoices when she returns. And in this rhythm, all life moves. The ancients told this story by firelight while the night pressed close. It reminded them that even in winter, when the fields are bare and the nights are long, spring will return. That sorrow may come, but joy will follow. That endings are not forever. They are part of a larger circle. This myth was not only of gods and goddesses, it was also a view of every soul that feels loss, of every heart that longs for return. It tells that even when life feels barren, the seeds of spring are waiting beneath the soil. Now rest in that thought. Picture a single seed in the dark earth. It lies hidden, quiet, almost forgotten, but slowly, gently, with warmth and patience, it stirs, it pushes upward, it breaks the surface, and light touches it once more. That seed is the promise of Persephone, the promise of return. The night deepens, the owl calls again, the wind sighs softly through the fields. You imagine Demeter's arms around her child, and you feel her tenderness extend to you. The love of a mother for her child, the love of the earth for its people, the love that never truly vanishes, but only sleeps for a time. Your breath slows, your body sinks deeper into comfort. The story is not heavy now, it is gentle. It is a rhythm, a circle, a soft turning. Like the wheel of the seasons, let the image stay with you. Golden fields swaying, sunlight warm on your face, flowers opening at your feet. Persephone has returned. Demeter smiles. The earth sings with life again. And when winter comes, you will remember the promise that after stillness, there will be bloom, after silence, song, after sorrow, joy. The stars above grow brighter. The moon glides slowly across the sky. The fields fall quiet once more. But within the soil, the seeds are safe. The story rests now, like the earth beneath frost. But spring will return, and so will light. Close your eyes. Let the tale fade into your breath. Let the goddess guard your rest. Let the rhythm of the seasons rock you gently into sleep. Now drift onward, into stillness, into softness, into dreams. The night is wide and quiet. The desert lies beneath a silver moon, its sands glimmering like pale water. The stars hang low, their light soft, their silence endless. Somewhere in that stillness, a temple rises from the earth. It is carved of stone, yet it feels alive, for its walls hold the echo of music, and its halls remember laughter. This is Dendera, the temple of Hathor, the goddess of joy. She was called Lady of Song, Mistress of Dance, the one whose laughter healed the heart. Her presence was a balm, as sweet as honey, as gentle as milk. In her shade sorrow softened, and the weary felt restored. Imagine yourself approaching this sacred place. The desert air is cool. Sand shifts beneath your steps. Ahead, the columns rise tall, their tops shaped like blooming flowers. They seem to reach for the sky, their carved faces of Hathor smiling serenely. At the gate, lamps burn with quiet flames. The light flickers across the stone, painting it gold. Like dawn before dawn, you step inside. The air is cooler here. It carries the faint sound of a sistrum, a sacred rattle of metal and bronze. Its rhythm is slow, like a heartbeat at rest. Hathor was more than a goddess. She was the sweetness of life itself, the gentle song of mothers, the laughter of children, the music of rivers at night. She was the star that comforted, the cow whose milk nourished, the drumbeat that lifted spirits. The ancients believed she could ease pain, turn grief into dance, and make heavy hearts light again. In times of sorrow, the people came here. They carried offerings of flowers and fruit, jars of beer sweetened with dates, and strings of small bells. They prayed not for power, not for conquest, but for joy, for the simple return of laughter after long days of silence. Picture the great hall now. Its ceiling is painted dark blue, scattered with stars. The constellations drift overhead, like lanterns in the night. Priests move softly, their robes brushing against stone. They strike harps of gold, their strings shimmering like sunlight. Others beat small drums, their sound as gentle as a heartbeat. And through it all, the sistrum sings, its voice high and trembling, like the laughter of a child. The music rises, but never too loud. It flows like water, wrapping around you, carrying your spirit. It eases the weight you carry, until your breath slows and your chest feels light. The people told many stories of Hathor. One was of her laughter. It was said that when the world grew weary, her joy renewed it. Even the gods turned to her when their hearts were heavy. Her music filled their halls. Her dancing shook away their sorrow. Her voice was the soft reminder that sweetness restores balance, and that life is not only burden, but also delight. Another story told that she greeted the dead with kindness, that when a soul left the body, she gave them drink and sang to them, so their passage into the beyond was not lonely but gentle, welcoming, filled with love. Let your mind wander now. You are in the courtyard of Dendera. Palm trees sway slowly in the night breeze. A pool of still water reflects the stars, and the moon gazes into its own mirror. The scent of lotus drifts in the air, sweet and faint. Torches burn low, their flames bowing gently, as if in prayer. You sit beside the pool. The sound of music drifts from the inner halls. It blends with the wind, with the distant hum of insects, with the quiet beating of your own heart. Everything moves together, soft and unhurried. The water ripples once, as though touched by an unseen hand. In the reflection, you glimpse a face, Hathor with eyes wide as the night sky, and lips curved in a smile. Her gaze is tender. It holds no judgment, only warmth, like the sun after rain. The temple was not only stone, it was an idea, a promise that life should hold joy, that laughter is sacred, that sweetness is as holy as prayer. Think of the farmers in the fields, their hands rough with work. At harvest, they offered the first fruits to her. Think of the mothers, tired and heavy with care. They sang lullabies to their children, calling on Hathor's name. Think of travelers, far from home. They carried her image to remind them of comfort. She was joy made divine. And joy, they believed, was not something small. It was strength. It was balance. It was healing. Now the music softens again. The sistrum slows. The drums fade to silence. Only the harp remains, its notes like drops of water. The sound is tender, lingering in the air. It feels like a whisper, reminding you that joy does not shout. It glows quietly, like a candle in the dark. You lean back, feeling the cool stone beneath you. Above, the ceiling of stars glows faintly. They watch without moving. They shine without hurry. And in their light, you feel a stillness, like being held. The ancients slept under these same stars. They dreamed their dreams in the shadow of this temple. They knew sorrow as you do. They knew weariness. And yet, they believed that joy was always near, like water beneath the sand, waiting to rise again. Let that belief be yours as well. That beneath the quiet of this night, beneath the silence of your thoughts, there is joy waiting. It will rise gently, like dawn. The torches burn lower. The desert wind grows cool. The music fades, but the memory lingers. The goddess's smile remains, like warmth in the chest. Her laughter still hums in the air, softer than a sigh. It is time to rest, time to let go. The temple of Hathor stands in the night, its stones steady, its stars eternal. Joy has not vanished. It is only waiting, like a seed beneath the soil, like light behind the horizon. Close your eyes. Let the stillness deepen. let the sweetness remain. Now drift onward. As the goddess watches, as the stars return, as the music becomes your dream, the mountain stands still beneath the sky. Parnassus rises, tall and silent, its ridges kissed by drifting clouds. At its base, the land hums with quiet. Olive groves spread like a soft sea of silver leaves. Springs flow clear, their waters murmuring over stone. And in the folds of the mountain, a temple waits. The temple belongs to Apollo, god of light and song. But within its chambers, it is the voice of a woman that carries the will of the divine. She is the Pythia, the Oracle of Delphi, who breathes the earth's vapors and lets visions rise like smoke. You walk the sacred way. The path climbs slowly, lined with offerings left by kings and wanderers, marble statues, bronze tripods, treasures once gleaming, now worn by centuries of wind. The air is warm with the scent of pine. Birds move gently through the branches. The sky above glows with the pale fire of afternoon. At last, the temple rises before you. Its columns are strong, its steps smooth from countless feet. Beyond the threshold lies shadow and the faint glimmer of flame. A hush falls as you enter. The air cools, thick with the smell of smoke and resin. Every sound seems softer here, as if the stones themselves listen. The inner chamber is veiled in mist. From cracks in the earth, vapors rise, sweet and sharp, like herbs crushed in a mortar. They curl upward, twisting in slow dances of gray. Here sits the oracle, her body draped in linen, her hair bound with a crown of laurel, her eyes half closed, her lips parted, breathing the earth's hidden breath. She does not speak at once. Her silence is part of the mystery. Her chest rises and falls. Slow as the sea at night, the air grows heavy. Time itself seems to bend, stretching into stillness. And then, with a voice both near and distant, words begin to flow. The Pythia is not only a woman. She is a vessel. Through her, the god Apollo sings. His voice is fire. Hers is breath. Together they shape visions, glimpses of paths not yet walked. Kings have bent to hear these whispers. Warriors have set their course by them. And wanderers, with nothing but hope, have left with new direction. Her words are never plain. They come like rivers, twisting and turning, reflecting light in hidden ways. They are riddles, softer than questions, sharper than silence, and in their mystery, the seeker finds reflection, as if the oracle's breath is a mirror, showing not just fate, but the soul itself. Picture her now. Her hands rest gently on her knees. Her fingers tremble faintly, like leaves touched by the wind. Her voice flows in low tones, echoing softly against the stone. It is neither loud nor hurried. Each word drifts like smoke carried upward, vanishing into the air. A seeker kneels before her. His cloak is worn. His eyes are heavy with worry. He has walked far, climbed the mountain and waited his turn. He asks not for riches, but for a sign. Her breath fills the chamber, and her answer rises like a tide. It does not command. It does not force. It simply offers a path, half hidden, half lit, for him to walk with his own heart. The ancients believed that the vapors came from Gaia, the earth herself, that the oracle breathed the voice of the land. Others said it was Apollo's gift, the god of prophecy, lending his sight. But for those who knelt in the temple, it did not matter how. It mattered only that the words came, and that they carried both comfort and warning. For in truth, the oracle was not only about the future, she was about listening. Her breath slowed the restless. Her silence hushed the fearful. Her words gave space for reflection, for turning inward. She was a reminder that wisdom is not shouted. It is whispered, like wind through pine, like water flowing over stone. Step deeper into the vision. The chamber grows darker. The torchlight flickers low. The smoke swirls in silver spirals. The oracle sways softly, her breath steady, her voice like a chant carried across a valley. Outside, the mountain waits. The springs flow. The olive trees rustle. But here, inside this chamber, time feels suspended. The world is a single breath. The seeker bows low. He has heard his answer. Not all of it clear, not all of it known, but enough to carry him forward. He leaves with lighter steps, as though some hidden burden has loosened. Imagine yourself there in that quiet room, the smoke curling, the flames glowing faintly. You breathe with her, slow, deep, the air warm and rich, the silence deep as a well. You ask nothing. You expect nothing. You simply breathe. And in that breath, you feel your own heart whispering, soft as a dream, the oracle will remain, as she has for centuries. Another will come, another will kneel, and she will breathe again, giving voice to visions that rise like mist, vanish like dew. The temple holds its peace. The mountain holds its silence. The springs flow endlessly, and the breath of the oracle drifts across the ages, gentle as twilight, enduring as stone. Now, let yourself rest. The chamber grows softer. The smoke thins. The torches dim. The sound of your breathe is all that remains. It is steady. It is calm. It carries you like a river in tow. Dream. The oracle's voice fades, but the stillness lingers. Her breath is now your breath. Her calm is now your calm. Sleep waits gently at the edge of thought. Let it come, without hurry, without struggle. Drift now, as the mountain keeps watch, as the stars return, as the night itself whispers, rest. The northern sky stretches wide, dark, endless, and speckled with pale stars. The frost lies quiet across the land. Snow glimmers like powdered silver, and the air hums with silence. In that silence, a story breathes. This is the realm of Freyja, goddess of love, of beauty, of magic, both tender and fierce. She walks the cold fields of the north with a heart that is both soft and unbroken. For her love is vast, her strength boundless, her tears golden. Imagine yourself among the fjords. Mountains rise like dark guardians. The wind moves through the pines, a whisper that carries old songs. You hear the crunch of snow beneath your steps, and the deep stillness of frozen lakes. Overhead, the aurora stirs, ribbons of green and violet, slowly weaving through the sky. In this quiet, Freyja's story takes shape. She was the keeper of the Brisingamen, a necklace wrought of fire and gold. No treasure in all the worlds shone with such beauty. It was more than adornment. It was magic, binding her to passion, to longing, to the endless rhythm of desire and sorrow. Her tears were not like others. When grief touched her, they fell as drops of gold. When longing burned within her, her eyes spilled amber light. Each tear was precious, yet heavy with meaning. They told of loss, of yearning, of the ache that comes with love that cannot be held forever. But her tears were not weakness. They were power. They shone as offerings. They became symbols, reminding all who saw them that even in sorrow, there is beauty. Even in loss, there is radiance. Listen now, as the story of her necklace unfolds. It was said that 4 dwarves crafted it, masters of the forge deep beneath the earth. They shaped the Brisingamen with fire, their hammers striking sparks into the dark. When at last it was done, it glowed with the warmth of the sun and shimmered like moonlight on snow. Freyja desired it, for she knew its beauty belonged to her spirit. The dwarves agreed, but only at a cost. The tales differ, but all say that she gave much of herself to claim the necklace. It became part of her, a circle of fire resting at her throat, binding her to magic, to strength, to longing eternal. Think of her now, walking through the frost, her cloak lined with feathers, her necklace shining at her breast. She moves with grace, her eyes deep as night skies, her hair falling like streams of gold. Every step she takes leaves warmth in the snow. Every breath she exhales carries both sorrow and love. She is the goddess who weeps, but also the goddess who heals. Her beauty is not only in her face, but in her power to endure. Her longing does not consume her, it becomes her song. Her grief does not break her, it becomes her strength. In the halls of Asgard, gods and goddesses looked upon her necklace. They knew its magic, they knew its danger, for beauty can bind as strongly as chains desire, can shape destiny, and tears can outlast even steel, yet Freyja did not. Fear, she wore it proudly. She let it remind the world that love is both joy and ache, both warmth and wound. Her tears flowed when her heart was heavy, but each drop of gold was a testament to her spirit. It was her way of saying, there is no shame in sorrow, for sorrow proves love. Picture now a quiet night in her hall. The hearth glows with orange flame. The sound of crackling wood fills the silence. Snow falls outside the windows, flakes drifting like feathers. Freyja sits alone, the necklace resting against her chest. Her fingers trace its golden links, feeling their weight. She remembers those she has lost. She remembers the ache of absence. Her eyes glisten, a single tear falls. It lands upon the floor, turning to gold. The firelight catches it. It gleams softly, like a tiny sun born from sorrow. And in that gleam, there is hope. For from grief, beauty has risen. From longing, something eternal remains. The people of the north looked to Freyja not only for love, but for strength. They called upon her in battle, for she chose half the Falento rest in her hall. Folk of anger, she welcomed them with tenderness. Warriors weary from the clash of steel, she gave them peace, and in her care their spirits found rest. But even as she guided warriors, she guided lovers too. She was called upon at weddings, her name woven into vows. She was honored at births, her blessing given to new life. She was both the goddess of beginnings and of endings, of desire and of parting. Her necklace, her tears, her presence itself were all reminders of this cycle. Now imagine her walking again, this time beneath the northern lights. The sky ripples with green fire, soft and shimmering. She gazes upward, her eyes reflecting the glow. Her tears glimmer too, falling as gold upon the snow. The necklace at her throat burns brighter, as though it too weeps with her. But she does not bow. She does not falter. Her sorrow is not defeat. It is the other side of love. She carries it with grace, and in doing so, she teaches that love, even when lost, is never wasted. It becomes light. It becomes gold. It becomes eternal. The night deepens. The frost glows under moonlight. The mountains stand in still silence. Freyja's story rests here, woven into the snow, the stars, the cold wind. She is the goddess who loves fiercely and grieves deeply. She is the one who wears her sorrow as gold, who turns loss into beauty. Her necklace of fire, her tears of amber, her strength in yearning, all are reminders that the heart's is part of its gift. Let the story fade now. Let the snow fall softly in your mind. Let the necklace shine quietly in the dark. Freyja's tears have fallen, but they do not weigh heavy. They glow instead, guiding like stars upon the frost. It is time to rest. Time to let sorrow ease into stillness. Time to let longing soften into peace. Drift gently as the northern sky shimmers. Drift onward as the gold of her tears lights the way. Now rest as the stars return, and the night folds around you like a cloak of silence. The night has grown still. The stars stretch across the dark sky, a canopy of gentle silver lights. The air is cool, and the hush of the earth feels like a vast and quiet temple. From far away, a faint sound begins to rise. It is low, steady, like a heart beating beneath the soil. It is the sound of drums. Slow, ancient, woven into the bones of the mountains. You are carried to Anatolia, to the wild peaks where winds wander. Here, the sacred lands of Cybele awaken. She is the mother of mountains, the great mother, the keeper of wilderness, the one whose spirit runs like streams through rock and forest. The peaks stand tall around you. Their slopes are heavy with pines and oaks. The wind breathes through them, singing songs that are both fierce and tender. A river cuts through the valley below, its waters glinting under the moon. The stones beside it seem to hum with memory, as though they too remember her footsteps. Cybele is no quiet goddess. Her spirit moves like a storm and rests like a cradle. She is mother of life, yet also wild and untamed. Her hands reach out in love, and yet the mountains tremble with her power. See her now, riding in her chariot. Its wheels are carved of bronze and oak. Beside it walk two lions, their golden eyes glowing softly in the night. They are not chained. They follow her willingly, for she is their mother as much as the mountains are. Her crown is shaped like city walls, a diadem of protection. Her gown flows like woven earth, deep green, deep brown. Her hair falls long and dark, streaming behind her in the wind. Every step, every turn of her wheels, sends echoes into the valleys. The drums rise again, booming, rolling, like thunder softened by distance. They do not call for fear. They call for remembrance, remembrance of earth, of stone, of the beating heart of nature. Cybele's rites were wild. They were not calm rituals of silence, but celebrations of life's pulse. In the shadow of mountains, men and women danced in circles, their feet striking the soil, their hands lifted to the stars. The sound of flutes curled into the air, their tones high and trembling. Like the cry of birds at dawn, the worshippers sang, their voices raw and unshaped, their bodies swaying with abandon. They sought to be carried away, to lose themselves in her rhythm, and always the drums, steady, unbroken, beating like the earth's own heart. Yet Cybele was not only wildness, she was also nurture. She was the one who held cities safe, who crowned them with walls, who sheltered their children under her watchful gaze. She was protector, the great mother, giver of fertility, giver of harvest. Her hands, though fierce, were also gentle. Imagine her in the quiet dawn. The rites have ended. The fire embers glow low. The mountains lie still again. She stands among the pines, her lions resting by her side. The air smells of earth and smoke. The stars fade slowly, and a pale light spreads in the east. In this calm, her presence feels soft, like a blanket wrapped over the land. Legends say she was born from stone, from the high cliffs of Freyja. Her spirit emerged, ancient as the rock itself. The mountains were her cradle, their caves her first home. Because of this, she belonged not to cities nor to palaces, but to the raw wilderness, to cliffs where eagles nest, to valleys where rivers cut deep paths, to slopes where forests cling to stone. And yet even in cities, her spirit walked. When people built walls for safety, they crowned her with towers. When they sowed fields, they prayed to her for fruitfulness. Her power flowed through both stone and soil, through wildness and hearth. The lions at her side are more than companions. They are symbols of her force, her untamed strength. In their eyes shines the memory of deserts, the heat of endless plains, the roar of wild lands where no hand has ever ruled. But beside her, they are calm. They walk as guardians, their power tamed not by chains, but by her presence. To see her with Themis, to understand her dual spirit, she is both fierceness and peace, both storm and embrace. The lions remind us that nature cannot be owned. It can only be honored. It can only be walked beside. With reverence, the rites of Cybele often spoke of release. Her followers let go of fear, let go of restraint. They danced until they were free, until their hearts were empty of burden. In this wildness, they found healing. In this surrender, they felt her presence. For to know the mother of mountains is to know that control is fleeting. The river flows as it will. The wind blows where it pleases. The earth quakes when it must. Yet, within this vastness, she holds her children close. Even as she shakes the peaks, she gathers life in her arms. Picture yourself in her valley now. The drums have faded. The fires are out. The snow on the high ridges glows with silver moonlight. You feel the stillness of the stones, ancient and enduring. You hear the whisper of leaves, soft as a mother's breath. She is here, not seen, but felt. Her presence is the warmth beneath the cold wind. It is the safety beneath the endless sky. It is the rhythm of the earth, steady, eternal, guiding your own heartbeat into calm. In her story, there is both wildness and nurture. There is both noise and silence. There are drums that shake the night, and there are mornings soft with dew. She teaches that to live is to hold both, to dance when the spirit calls, to rest when the heart grows weary, and always the mountains endure. They rise and fall through ages. They cradle forests. They shelter streams. They keep her memoria as though carved in stone. Let the tale soften now. The drums grow distant, their echoes rolling into sleep. The lions lie down, their golden eyes closing. The mountains wrap themselves in the hush of night. Cybele rests, and so may you. Let the quiet of the peaks become your quiet. Let the breath of the pines become your breath. Let the mother of mountains hold you gently, as snow drifts over stone, as stars fold into the dark. Drift onward as the night deepens. Drift inward as the story fades. Now rest, as the earth holds you, ancient, eternal, soft as silence. The night stretches wide. The air is cool, and the sky is a dark river, flowing with silent stars. The world lies quiet, blanketed in shadows, while a hush spreads across the earth like soft linen. Above you, a cluster of lights glimmers, small, delicate, yet bright enough to catch the wandering eye. They shimmer close together, like a family holding hands in the dark. These are the Pleiades, the seven sisters. Their glow has guided sailors, farmers, dreamers, and poets for thousands of years. They rise in many stories, in many lands. Different tongues gave them names. Different cultures gave them meaning. Yet always, they are sisters, a circle of women bound by light, forever walking the heavens together. Some saw them as doves, fluttering across the sky, others as candles, carried by unseen hands. But most often, they are remembered as maidens. 7 sisters, their beauty shining in the dark, their presence woven into myth. In Greece, they were daughters of Atlas, the titan who bore the weight of the sky. And their mother was Pleione, keeper of the sea, born of earth and water. They carried in themselves a grace both tender and enduring. When Orion, the mighty hunter, sought them, the sisters fled across the earth. Step by step they ran, their feet light as drifting leaves. But Orion followed, relentless, his eyes always fixed upon them. Seeing their fear, the gods lifted them into the sky. They rose beyond his reach, their bodies transformed into stars, and so the 7 sisters became eternal, safe among the constellations. Even now, Orion chases them across the heavens, but he can never touch them. Each sister carried her own name. Maya, eldest, gentle as spring's first breath. Electra, bright as dawn's flame. Tegit, dancer of the wild hills. Alcyone, queen of calm seas. Soleino, the hidden one, soft as twilight's veil. Sterope, a flash of lightning swift and sudden. And Merope, the youngest, whose light is often faint, for she loved a mortal and blushed with mortal sorrow. 7 in number, yet often only 6 can be seen. Stories whisper that one sister hides her face, veiled in shame or longing. But whether 6 or 7, their circle glows on, a family never broken. In other lands, different voices remembered them. In India, they were the Kritikas, nurses of the god of war. Their stars burned like sparks, feeding his flame. In Japan, they are called Subaru, a cluster united, symbols of harmony. In the deserts of the Hopi, they mark the seasons of planting, the rhythms of life. Everywhere, the sisters were known, everywhere. Their shimmer spoke of guidance of cycles, of the passage of time. Imagine now that you drift beneath them. The sky is endless, deep as a sea without shore. The stars are lanterns, hung from invisible threads, and among them the Pleiades glimmer, not far, not distant, but close, as though they lean toward you, as though their gentle lights meant for your path alone. They do not blaze like suns. They do not demand attention. Instead, they glow with tenderness, like candles in a quiet room. Their light is steady, never harsh. It softens the night, like a lullaby woven into the sky. The 7 sisters remind us of family, of bonds that cannot be broken. Though chaste, though scattered, they rise together. Though one may hide her face, the others shine on. They are unity. They are protection. They are memory, set in silver across the dark. Think of them as spirit guides, each a spark of wisdom, each a note in a celestial chord. Together they sing softly, their music flowing across the ages, not with words, but with light. A hymn written in starlight heard only by the quiet heart. In winter, they rise high in the night. Farmers once watched them, measuring the time for harvest. The time for sowing. Sailors steered their ships by their cluster, trusting their gentle glow to point the way. The sisters were a calendar, a compass, a reminder that the heavens always turn in rhythm. And when people looked up, they felt not alone, for the sisters watched, patient and unchanging. The world might shift, the seasons might pass, but their small circle of light was always there. Perhaps that is their gift, to remind us that no matter how far we wander, no matter how much the years transform us, we are never truly alone. The sisters are always together, and above, they shine for all, a family for the sky, a beacon for the earth. Their light is memory. Their light is promise. Their light is the quiet presence of love that endures. Now, let the story soften. The hunter fades to shadow. The myths grow still. The night sky stretches wide, calm as a sleeping sea. And there, the sisters shimmer on, small, delicate, yet eternal. Breathe with them. Their glow is steady. Their glow is safe. Like 7 lamps set upon the dark, their light will hold you through the long night. Let their presence guide your thoughts to quiet. Let their circle gather you into rest. Like a child in a mother's arms, like stars in a gentle sky, you are safe. You are held. The Pleiades drift above, forever shining, forever together. Let them drift also in your dreams. Let them carry you into sleep's soft valley. No chase, no burden, only light, only peace. And as you close your eyes, the sisters remain. Their glow falls like a blessing. Their bond hums like a song. Their story lingers, but their silence is deeper still. Let us drift onward now. Let us rest as the stars return, as the night folds around you, as the sisters keep watch in their eternal sky. The night has deepened. The stars are steady above, like lamps set upon a high temple wall. The air is still, yet beneath the silence there is a gentle hum, a pulse, a hidden current. It is the rhythm of life itself, a quiet tide moving through every tree, every stream, every breath. It is in the beating of the heart. It is in the glow of fire. It is in the whisper of the wind as it brushes past the sleeping earth. This living current is called Shakti. In the wisdom of India, Shakti is the eternal force. She is the breath of all creation, the pulse behind all movement, both fierce and gentle. She is not separate from life. She is life itself. In old stories, Shakti takes many forms. Sometimes she is Durga, a warrior with eyes like still flames, riding a lion through endless fields. Sometimes she is Parvati, a mountain's daughter, soft as the falling snow, yet strong as the stone beneath. Sometimes she is Kali, dark and wild, the night sky alive with stars. And sometimes she is simply the mother, holding the world in her vast embrace. But always, whatever her form, she is energy, the river that flows through all things. Without her, the world would be empty, a lamp without flame, a body without breath. Imagine her now, not as a figure of fear, but as a vast warmth spreading. Through the night, she is the quiet fire that keeps the stars alive. She is the hush of air that moves gently across the earth. She is the steady thread that ties every being together. If you close your eyes, you may sense her as a softness resting in your chest, not loud, not heavy, just a calm, glowing presence, like the warmth of sunlight, long after the sun has set. Long ago, the stories tell of gods and beings who struggled against the forces of darkness. They sought balance, they sought peace, but the power they needed was not found in strength alone. It was found in Shakti. For she is the one who awakens. She is the spark that gives rise to all courage. Without her, even the gods themselves were silent shadows, so when harmony was needed, they called upon her, and she came rising like dawn, shining with the light of 1,000 suns, yet also tender as the petals of a single flower. To speak of Shaktis, to speak of the dance of opposites. She is fierce, yet she is gentle. She is storm, yet she is stillness. She is mother, yet she is warrior. Her power is not just destruction, not just creation, but the balance between them. The breath moving in and out, the ocean tide rising and falling, everything that grows, everything that changes, everything that rests, all of it is her. The sages said that in every being, Shakti dwells as a coiled energy, resting at the base of the spine, like a sleeping serpent. When awakened, she rises, gentle and slow, through the body, through the heart, through the crown of the head, bringing light, bringing stillness, bringing union with the eternal. But even without awakening, she is always there. She is in each heartbeat. She is in each breath. She is the quiet force that keeps you alive, moment by moment, breath by breath. Picture now a temple at twilight. Its walls are ancient stone, covered with carvings, of flowing rivers, of spiraling suns, of dancers caught in motion. Lamps glow softly, their flames bending with the breeze. The air is filled with the scent of sandalwood and distant jasmine, and in the stillness, a presence hums, gentle yet vast. This is Shakti. She does not arrive. She does not depart. She is simply there, woven into the quiet, woven into the silence itself. Every culture speaks of her in its own way. Some call her the Divine Mother. Some see her as spirit, or breath, or simply life. The names change, but the truth remains the same. She is the pulse of existence. She is the hidden music beneath every sound. She is the eternal fire behind every star. Even in your dreams, she moves, eating the rivers of thought, holding you in her unseen arms. Think now of water, a river flowing slowly through the night. Its surface shines like silver. Its depths move without hurry, yet never cease. This is Shakti, a power that does not rush, yet never stops, a power that shapes mountains and feeds valleys, that carries leaves, and also carries stars. Or think of a single flame, dancing on a small wick, gentle enough to warm a hand, yet fierce enough to consume the darkest night. This too is Shakti. When storms rise, she is there. When calm returns, she is there. When a child is born, when an old one rests, she is there. She is not far away. She is not hidden. She is the very ground beneath your feet, the very breath moving through you. Her gift is not only power, her gift is balance. To remind all beings that every force contains its opposite. That stillness and movement are not two, but one dance. That to rest deeply is also to live fully. And so, as night deepens, Shakti moves quietly. She does not wake you. She does not call your name. She simply flows, like a hidden stream, through your body, through your mind, through the world around you. Her song is silence. Her temple is everywhere. Her embrace is endless. Now let your thoughts grow softer. Let the current of Shakti carry them away, as leaves are carried upon the river. No effort, no struggle, only drifting, only rest. The lamps of the temple dim. The stars above remain steady. The earth sighs with peace. And still, her pulse continues, steady, gentle, eternal. Shakti is life. And life is rest, and rest is her gift. So lie now in her embrace. Feel her as warmth. Feel her as stillness. Feel her as the deep. Huma of the universe itself. She is with you now. She will be with you always, for she is the eternal force, the beginning, the middle, the never-ending. Let us drift onward now, into the night, into silence, into her arms. Now rest, as the stars return and Shakti, the eternal force, holds you in her quiet light. Mist rises gently from the still waters. The night is quiet, with only the sigh of reeds and the soft ripple of unseen currents. A silver moon hangs low, its light spilling across the surface of the lake like silk, unrolling in silence. There is no hurry here. The air itself seems to breathe slowly, holding each moment tenderly before letting it drift away. In this hush, the soul remembers stories woven long ago of an island hidden by mists, an isle called Avalon, the Apple Isle, a place of healing, of song, of timeless guardianship. The legends say that beyond the drifting veil of mist, a land of orchards waits, trees heavy with fruit, their blossoms glowing in spring, their branches rich in autumn, the air always fragrant, the ground always soft, the rivers always sweet. But more than the apples, more than the orchards, Avalon is remembered for the women who kept it, the priestesses, the guardians of dream and earth, of song and silence, of healing and prophecy. They lived close to the water. Their halls were not of stone, but of wood and light, open to the breeze, open to the stars. Torches burned with steady flames. Bowls of herbs gave off gentle smoke. Every sound, from the crackle of fire to the cry of night birds, was received as part of a sacred song. The priestesses were said to wear robes of soft colors, deep blues, greens like river moss, white like drifting mist. Upon their foreheads, a simple circlet of silver or bronze, not to display power, but to remind them of the circle of life they served. In the ancient tales, Avalon was the place where kings were carried when wounded to be healed in its silence. The priestesses would meet them upon the shore, their voices low, their hands bearing bowls of water, cups of herbs, woven charms. The air itself seemed to respond, growing calmer, growing softer, as though Avalon were not just an island, but a sanctuary of the soul. It was said that Arthur himself, the once and future king, was born across these waters, his body resting in a silent boat, the priestesses guiding him toward rest. Their songs floated on the night air, not sharp, not loud, but like the hum of bees, like the sound of river currents sliding through reeds. But the story of Avalon is not only a tale of kings, it is the story of the women themselves, the keepers of wisdom older than crowns, older than stone halls. They were healers of the body, yes, but also of the spirit. They listened to dreams. They listened to the wind. They read the movement of clouds, the hush of still water, the whisper of birds as they took flight at dawn. Their power was not a power of force, but of knowing, to sit in silence, to listen deeply, to place hands upon the earth and feel its pulse. This was their gift. Think now of the apple tree itself, its blossoms soft in spring, its fruit round and glowing in autumn. The apple is sweet, yet also tart. It nourishes, yet also reminds of cycles, of beginning and ending. The priestesses of Avalon were said to guard this tree, not just in orchards, but in the heart, for the apple was a symbol of wholeness, of the harmony of life and death, sleep and waking, growth and rest. The mists around Avalon were not simply weather, they were said to be alive, shifting, opening only for those who were called. Travelers could wander the lakes for days, seeing only water, only fog. But for those whom the island awaited, the mist would part, revealing the gentle slopes, the orchards, the shining halls. And so, Avalon was not a place that could be seized. It was a place that revealed itself only when the soul was ready, like a dream that comes only when the mind has quieted, like sleep itself, arriving only when invited. The priestesses were midwives of mystery. They helped the soul cross thresholds, from waking to dreaming, from sickness to healing, from life into death, and from death into life again. They were said to sit beside the water at dusk, their voices carrying songs too soft to disturb, yet too steady to fade, songs that soothed the weary, songs that guided travelers through their inner mists. Some stories tell that they could change shape, becoming birds, becoming deer, becoming the mist itself. But perhaps this was only a way to describe their closeness with nature, their oneness with the rhythms of the earth. For they did not stand apart from the world. They were woven into it, like threads of a great endless tapestry. If you close your eyes now, you may imagine yourself upon a small boat. The water is smooth, the air is cool, the mist curls gently around you, but it does not frighten. It feels like a soft veil, like the folds of a cloak. Your boat moves slowly, drifting without effort, carried by currents unseen. From within the mist, a glow begins to rise. Soft lights flicker, as if lanterns were waiting along a hidden shore. You hear faint voices, not sharp, not clear, but like a hum of lullabies woven with the sound of the water. And then, through the veil you see them, figures in flowing robes, standing upon the shore. the priestesses of Avalon. Their hands are lifted in welcome, their faces calm as moonlight. Their presence is like warmth spreading in the chest, like the hush that comes before peaceful sleep. Here, nothing is hurried. Here, time itself seems to pause. The island does not demand. It simply offers rest. The orchards stretch quietly. The waters lap against the shore. The priestesses move gently, their steps like whispers, their songs like soft wind in the branches of apple trees. To come to Avalon is to be received, not judged. It is to be held, not measured. It is to remember that life itself is a circle, and every circle is also a path home. So let the mists of Avalon gather softly around you now. Let the voices of the priestesses move like a low tide through your thoughts. You are drifting, slowly, safely, toward the hidden isle. The apple trees wait, their branches heavy with fruit. The halls glow with gentle fire, the waters hum with rest. And the priestesses stand watch at the edge of dreams, guardians of silence, keepers of healing, singers of peace. Rest now, as their voices fade into the night. Rest, as the mists wrap you in their folds. Rest, as Avalon drifts closer, not far, not distant, but as near as the next breath. Let us drift onward. Let the apple isle hold you. Now sleep as the stars return, and the priestesses of Avalon sing you softly into silence.